This is the Haftarah for this week's, uh, well, it's not the Torah portion, it's a special Shabbat, so it's called Shabbat Shekalim. Normally it would be, I think, a different reading, but this week, because it's a special Shabbat, um, and it's from Second Kings, and the custom differs from the Sephardim and the Ashkenazim. They both cover the same, a lot of the same area, but some of it, the Sephardic tradition goes a little bit, a few verses more. So the Sephardic tradition starts from chapter 2 Kings chapter 11, verse 17, and goes until 12:17, and the Ashkenazic tradition starts in chapter 12, 1 through 17. So I'll start with 11:17 and go through, and we'll cover both customs. Starting with chapter 17, verse 17 of chapter 11 of 2 Kings. Vayichrot Yehoyada et habrit ben Adonai uven hamelech uven ha'am liyot la'am l'Adonai uven hamelech uven ha'am. And Yehoyada enacted the covenant between the Lord and between the king and between the people to be the people of the Lord, and between the king and between the people. ויבואו כל העם הארץ בית הבעל ויתצוהו את מזבחותיו ואת צלמיו שיברו היטב, ואת מתן כהן הבעל הרגו לפני המזבחות, וישם הכהן פקודות על בית אדוני. And all the people of the land came to the temple of the Baal and tore it down. Its altars and its images they smashed. And Matan, the priest of the Baal, they slew before the altars. And the priest set up appointees over the house of the Lord. Vayikach et sarai hameot et hakare hakari vet haratzim vet kol am haaretz vayoridu et hamelech mibeit Adonai vayavohu derech sha'ar haratzim bet hamelech vayeshev al kisei hamelachim. And he took the officers of the hundreds and the mighty warriors and the couriers and all the people of the land, and they brought the king down from the house of the Lord, and they came by way of the gate of the couriers to the king's palace, and he sat on the throne of the kings. וישמח כל עם הארץ והעיר שקטה ואת עתליהו המיתו בחרב בית המלך. And all the people of the land rejoiced, and the city quieted down, and Atalia they had dispatched by the sword in the royal place. They killed Atalia, Hemitu. Yeah. And now we start chapter 12. And this is where the Sephardim start from. Ben Sheva Shanim Yehoash b'malcho. Joash was 7 years old when he became king. B'shnat Sheva liYehu melech Yehoash ve'arba'im shana melech b'Yerushalayim v'shem imo Tzivya miBer Sheva. Joash became king in the 7th year of Yehu, and he reigned in Jerusalem for 40 years. And his mother's name was Tivia from Beersheba. Vayas Yehoash hayashar be'inei Adonai kol yamav asher horau Yehoyada Kohen. And Joash did what was proper in the eyes of the Lord all his days, what Yehoiada the priest had instructed him. Rak habamot lo saru od ha'am mizabchim u'mikatrim bibamot. However, the high places were not removed. The people were still slaughtering sacrifices and burning incense on the high places. Vayomer Yehoash el hakohanim kol kesef hakadashim asher yuva bet Adonai kesef over ish kesef nafshot erko kol kesef asher yale alev ish havi bet Adonai. And Yehoash said to the priests, all money of the hallowed things which is brought to the house of the Lord, the money of anyone who passes the numbering of each one, the money of the value of the people, whose value he vows to donate. All money which comes upon a man's heart to bring to the house of the Lord, Yikul lahem hakohanim ish me'et makaro vehem yichazku et bedek habayit v'chol asher yimatzeh sham badik. The priests shall take for themselves each one from his acquaintance, and they shall strengthen the damage of the house wherever damage is found. ויהי בשנת 23 שנה למלך יהואש לא חיזקו הכהנים את בדק הבית, and it was that in the 23rd year of King Jehoash, the priests did not strengthen the damages of the house. ויקרא המלך יהואש ליהוידע הכהן ולכהנים ויאמר עליהם מדוע אינכם מחזקים את בדק הבית ועתה אל תיקחו כסף מאת מכריכם כי לבדק הבית titnuhu. And King Yehoash summoned Yehoiada the priest, and the priests said to them, why are you not repairing the damage of the house? Now take no money from your acquaintances, but give it for the damage of the house. Vayeotu hakohanim levilti kachat kesef me'et ha'am ulevilti chazek et bedek habayit. And the priests agreed not to take money from the people and not to repair the damage of the house. Vayikach Yehoiada hakohen aron echad vayikov chor bidalto vayitin oto יצא למזבח מימין בבוא איש בית אדוני ונתנו שמה הכהנים שומרי הסף את כל הכסף המובא בית אדוני. And Jehoiada the priest took one chest and bored a hole in its door, and he placed it near the altar on the right where a person enters the house of the Lord, and the priests, the guards of the threshold, would put all the money that was brought into the house of the Lord into there. Vayhi kirotam kirav hakesef ba'aron vaya'al sofer hamelech ve'akohen hagadol vayutzuru vayimnu et hakesef hanimsa bet Adonai. And it was when they saw that there was much money in the chest, and that the king's scribe and the high priest went up and packed and counted the money which was brought into the house of the Lord. V'natnu et hakesef המתוקן על ידי עושי המלאכה המופקדים בית אדוני ויוציאוהו לחרשי העץ ולבונים העושים בית אדוני. And they would give the counted money into the hands of the foremen of the work, who were appointed in the house of the Lord, and they spent it for the carpenters and for the builders who work in the house of the Lord. ולגודרים ולחוצבי האבן, לקנות עצים ואבני מחצב, לחזק את בדק בית אדוני ולכל אשר יצא על הבית לחזקה. And for the masons and for the stone cutters, and to buy wood and quarried stones to repair the damage of the house of the Lord, and for everything which would be spent for the house to strengthen it. לא יעשה בית אדוני סיפות כסף, בזמרות, מזרקות, חצוצרות, כל כלי זהב וכלי כסף מן הכסף המובא בית אדוני. However, there would not be made for the house of the Lord silver pitchers, musical instruments, basins, trumpets, or any golden or silver utensils from the money brought into the house of the Lord. כי לעושי המלאכה יתנוהו ויחזקו בו את בית אדוני. But they would give it to the foreman over the work, and they would repair there with the house of the Lord. ולא יחשבו את האנשים אשר ייתנו את הכסף על ידם לתת לעושי המלאכה כי באמונה הם עושים. And they would not reckon with the men into whose hand they would give the money to give the foremen over the work, for they did the work honestly. כסף אשם וכסף חטאות לא יובא בית אדוני לכהנים יהיו. The money for guilt offerings and the money for sin offerings would not be brought to the house of the Lord. They would go to the priests.